This is I'm going to show you how to use shapes and move them around, create motion graphics with shapes in After Effects. And this will lead us into creating live action video where we add special effects. But first we got to figure out how to use the special effects tools, specifically the basic shape tools. We're going to go to the Launchpad and go up here to After Effects, Creative Cloud 2018. This guy right here. Get that started. Might take a moment for this to pop up. If you haven't used it in a while, just be patient. It will. Okay. And want to create a new project. And we want a new composition. And we want to call this AE Shape FL. Want the preset to be this HDTV 1080 2997. And let's set our duration to 10 seconds. Okay, so make sure it looks like that. It's got the 10 seconds. Okay, and then click OK. And if you need to pause here to make sure your settings are right, do so. Remember on this training video or this lesson video, you could pause it. Click OK. So here's my timeline with my 10 seconds. And I'm going to go up here to the shapes on the toolbar. If I click and hold and release, you can see I've got these basic shapes. So I'm going to start with the star tool, just for the heck of it. Here's my fill and stroke for my colors, and the stroke size in pixels. So go ahead and set those. Pause this training video if you need to and set those colors to what you want. Pick the shape you want. I'm doing a star, and I'm going to go up here to Layer, New, Shape Layer. That creates this first layer right here in my layer panel. Okay, study that page or study this screen. You can see it. I'm going to go ahead and click, hold, and drag my star. Use this. I'm going to switch now over to the selection tool so I can move that. Okay. Click on it again somewhere until you see this point in the center of the screen. That's the anchor point. So we want the anchor point to be in the center of the shape. So if we do any kind of rotation, we rotate around the center point or the anchor point. So if I click on it and try to move it, you can see it doesn't move. But if I hold the Y key down and then click on it, I can move it to wherever I want. So I want it right in the middle of the, oops, zoom back out, fit. So I want it back, or I want it in the middle. All right. Notice that it says Polystar tool here under contents. I could always twirl those open to see what's there. And I'm going to twirl open the Polystar Path 1. And you can see it shows the number of points for my star. Also shows me the type of star it is. So I could jump between a star and a polygon here if I wanted to. Okay. And I could also change the number of points. And I got the scrubby key where I can drag left to right and find the number of points I want for my star, whatever you want. I could also change the inner and outer radius of the star just by clicking and dragging to the left or to the right to change the look of my shape. I can also change the outer radius. Okay. And also affect the inner roundness of my star, the outer roundness. So I can really change the look of this star. Or if it was a polygon, I could change the look of that too, right? Go back to star. All right, so let me close that and close that. And now let me hit P, and that's going to give me on the shape layer the position. So P on the keyboard for position. And if you get lost, I'm just under transform. You just can click that, and that's the position P right there. So place this where you want it to be, okay? And click on this stopwatch, and that's going to start our keyframe. So there's the diamond, and it's wherever that scrubber's at. Remember the when and the where for keyframe animation. And I'm going to put the scrubber at 1 second, and then I'm going to move my shape to where I want it to be at 1 second. And you decide, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever you want. You decide kind of where you want it to go. You can see it's creating that path. Okay, I'm just going to go kind of like every 2 seconds. I'm going to have it zigzag across the screen. And maybe have it finish off here in the middle. All right, so now I can hit the space bar and watch that do its thing based on the keyframes that I put in. Okay, hit the space bar again, put the scrubber back to the beginning of the composition. And there's other things I could do as well. I can hit R for rotation. So if I want this to rotate, I can do the same thing. So I could click on the stopwatch, and I could say that at 5 seconds, I want it to rotate. Let's see. We'll use the left one because that's how many times. So let me set that. Oh, what the heck? Just you play with the scrubber key and kind of figure out what you want to do and what direction you want to go with the rotation. Come back here and do some more. So now when I play it, you can see it's fluttering around, doing all that rotating. All right. And if you look, let me hit the space bar again, put the scrubber back to 0. If you open this up, you could see the position, scale. I could change the scale size, right? I could click the stopwatch there, and I could have it actually maybe get smaller at 5 seconds. I could have it shrink down a little, and then maybe at 10 seconds, I can have it get back up to a bigger size. Hit the space bar to see what that does. See, it's getting smaller. And it's going to get bigger again. Okay. So you play around with those settings. Position, scale, rotation. Opacity would affect its visibility. At 100%, it's completely visible. At 0%, it's completely gone, right? So that you could also keyframe that. Just make sure the scrubber goes to 0 when you start your keyframing. All right, so I'm going to collapse this shape layer, this particular layer, and I can add another layer. I can go up here, layer, new, shape layer. Make sure the scrubber's at 0. Now I have this shape layer 2. I could come up here and click and hold, and I could change it to maybe the rectangle tool now. Change my fill and stroke if I want. Draw my shape. And I can do the same thing. I can hit P for the position of that rectangle. Hit the stopwatch and use the selection tool. I want to move that pivot point in, so I'm going to hit Y on the keyboard, hold it down, hold Y down, and move the pivot point somewhere inside the shape. And now I can decide where I want it to be with the scrubber at 0. And then I could have it maybe dance a little bit with this maybe chase it around, chase my other shape around a little bit. You get the idea, I hope. You decide when and where, just based on the position of it and the scrubber. Maybe it goes back over here and finishes maybe right over here. Okay, hit the space bar, and now it's going to go through those motions. And again, I have also, if I twirl this open, I also have under transform, I've got the position, scale, rotation, and opacity of that shape. What I want you to do in this project is to put at least 4 shapes on your frame. At least 4 shapes, and play around with the transform settings, with these settings. All right. So you should have a total of 3 layers or 4 layers at least. When you're going to make a new layer, make sure you click out so you don't put a layer inside another layer. So just click out and then go up here to layer, new, shape layer. Okay. And then go back here and pick your shape. Click and hold. When you're done, make sure you click down here on the timeline. We're going to go up here to File, Export, and we want, this is the one where we have to go to the media encoder. Click on Add to Media Encoder. And now Media Encoder will open. Be patient. It's going to put your project in here. Be patient. Okay, so when it pops up, you want to make sure that this here is H.264, and click here and make sure you put it in your documents folder so you know where it's at. It's going to be aeshapefl.mp4. Click save. Okay, and then come up here and click the play, and it's going to render. It might take a little while because there's a lot of graphics going on in this, so just be patient. So there it goes. And now it's done. So if I go to my Finder and I go to my Documents, should have alphabetically in my list an AE, aeshapefl, there it is right there. And I'm going to upload that to my video page. I know it's animation, but I want you to put it on your video page and label it as aeshapefl. All right? Have fun with this.